Welcome back, everyone. This is episode number 4 of Between the Lanes. On behalf of the team, my team, Coach P, that's Coach Pierre, Coach Jeff, Bryant, and myself, Tony Presser, aka Tony Jones. We have a very special guest joining us. His name is Johnny Nolan Jenkins. He is the head coach, head boys coach over at Proviso West. Before we delve into that, let's give you guys a little bit of a backstory on him. He was the 1988 IHSA Class 2A. That's right, back when there were two classes. Long jump state champion. He jumped over 24 feet back in his time. He was also a unique athlete. He was a 400-meter runner who ran under 48 seconds, 47.8 officially. You can do all your conversions that you want. He still was a sub 48 guy. We're going to give him that credit. And he was also a over 24-footer. As I mentioned, that is super rare these days. Welcome, Coach Jenkins.
Welcome. How y'all guys doing tonight?
What's up, man?
Good.
We had to go through so many channels to get you on the show, man. Good grief.
Man, the coronavirus is setting everybody down.
Right. You know, we've traveled with you before. You've had coronavirus before, bro, before they came out. So
You got jokes, huh?
Nah.
You're a young guy. You probably did have coronavirus back there.
No, not me. I'll just take the lime. Just give me the lime.
Hey, before we start, Coach Jenkins, you want to give us some a start on how you? Let's start with your athletic career first before we get into coaching. We know that you've done very well on the coaching side, but let's take us back as a youth. How did you get started in sports?
I think it was in 6th grade. We used to just have like competing at the grade school with broad jumps and like 40-meter runs. So I used to hate, like, I knew I could jump far. Like, I was trying, like, what's the record? How far, broad jump can you jump? 10 feet, 11 feet. So, like, when I was in 6th grade, I think I broke the 6th grade record in the broad jump, just, standing still. And I was like, man. So when I got to junior high, I jumped like 18. I mean, by my 8th grade year, I jumped like 19. It was 19.8, almost 20 feet in the long jump.
What schools did you go to back then?
Roosevelt Junior High. It's in Bellwood.
Okay.
Yeah, and it had some outstanding runners that was on the wall. They had a record board, and I said, before I leave grade school, I wanted to be on the wall. So, I ran track. We had flag football at the grammar school. We had basketball, so I was on the basketball team that we won. We won the championship my 7th grade year and 8th grade year. So, yeah, it started like in 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade.
Okay. Take us through freshman, because I've been in your field house, Proviso West field house, and I've seen you up on the frost-off board. Pretty good records there, indoors, right?
Yeah. Well, our indoor track was nothing like it is today. It was a black tar. They had to, they painted the lines every year. They we had to put tape, the tape you get from the trainers. We had to put tape on the bottom of our spikes, like every race. Like if I jump, soon after I finish jumping, I had to take the tape off and go right back and put more tape on for my next jump. Even in, if I was running 55 or the 200, 300. They changed that track facility, I think it was 1990. It was after I graduated out of high school. That's when they first put down the Mondo at Proviso. So we didn't get an opportunity. And then, like, I think the last 5 years, we had cinders. So we just got an outdoor track like 3 years ago. So I think we was the last school in the country to have a cinder track in the 2000s.
Where did you jump as a freshman?
21-7.
Okay.
That's it?
21-7 in the court entry, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And then my sophomore year, 22-7. I placed 7th at state. Junior year, I was off and on. I was 22, low 23, but we had a guy named Reggie Bursey that came out from basketball, and I was helping Reggie in the long jump, and he ended up jumping 23. He placed downstate, and I didn't. And I was very upset my junior year. Like, you know, I placed in the 4x. We placed 4th in the 4x1, 5th in the 4x2, and I think 4th in the 4x4 my junior year in high school. And I wanted 4 medals. And I was like, man. So I said, next year, I'm not going to help anybody out. And
Ultimate team player.
This is on the record, by the way.
oh, yeah. But I did help another young man, and I know y'all heard of him, but he went to Proviso East. That was Ray Buchanan. I helped him in the triple jump. I told him, I said, you know, he had a great coach over there, Steve Lawrence and Joe Farinelli over at Proviso. But I say, Ray, you got so much speed. I say, just hold your second phase. And he went 50 feet as a junior. So I guess that's when I started. I guess I knew I can coach a little bit.
Ray Buchanan. For some of you who don't know, NFL went to the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, the Dirty Birds. Back, what was that, 98? Yeah, Ray Buchanan. Right.
Yep.
Look at Johnny training pros. Come on, at a young age.
Man. Oh, I trained a couple of them in my day. I helped out a couple of them.
Hey, Johnny, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
So when you got to high school, did you try out for any other sports, or was it already just track for you?
No, I came in as a freshman. I played 3 sports. You know, I did football for 3 years. Freshman, sophomore, junior. I went out for football my senior year, and my head track coach told me I couldn't go out for football. And I was like, why? And he was like, you're the fastest in the school. You might get hurt. I'm like, well, I done played football, you know, for 3 years. I ain't got hurt. So I ended up doing something I didn't want to do. I ran cross country. And I was very upset, but, you know.
What?
Oh, yeah, I was very
Who is this coach you got?
That's the first time hearing this.
The coach was Paul Massey. Paul Massey took over Don Green. Don Green was the head coach when I came into high school, and he retired, and Paul Massey took over. And we really kind of fell out. You know, it was like a Jerry Reinsdorf and Michael Jordan. It was I was very upset because I was like, why can I do the sports I played? You know, I played football, basketball, and track in high school. Then your senior year come, he tell you, no, you can't do it. And it wasn't like I wasn't good. I was. You know, I was a running back. So I was like, wow. So it was a decision the coach made, and I guess it really helped me because it made me a better track runner. My senior.
Right. Who would have thought Johnny had ability to play football and do cross country? Wow. We thought he was just a jumping jack.
Hey, speaking of that, Johnny, tell this story about I don't know if you guys heard it about. You said, "Hey, I want to break 2 minutes in the 800," and
So,
tell me how. I guess you running cross country kind of helped you break 2 minutes in a way, huh?
yeah, because it was crazy. Bill Glassner, Hall of Fame coach. He was a head coach at Proviso for 2 years, and then he became assistant coach until he retired. Everything I ran, it was always time. And I didn't understand it as a kid, but as a coach now, I do. So he was like, Johnny, I just want you to stay with this, you know, with this kid. I want you to run with him. And at the mile, I want you to be at this time. And I was like, wow, okay. So I just never forget, I was at this invitational. I think Oak Park had an invitational at the Forest Preserve. It was over 500 kids. And I went out, no BS. I went out like the first mile. I went out at 5 minutes. And Glass was like, he was like, slow down. He went out too fast. But I was so competitive. You know, I just hated to lose. So, you know, I end up placing like half of the, it was 500 runners. I was 250, and that just, he used to tell me like, man, you got 400 meters, act like this for 400. And I ran like 50, 60 people down in cross country. And I told him, I said, man, I don't know how these guys run cross country, bro. I was like, this is not for me. But I just did anything my coach asked me to do. And Tony, you asked this question about the 800. I think it was at Willowbrook High School. My coach would always tell me, when we go to meets, he said, I want it to be fun. So we used to all, he didn't put it up like what we running. So this meet, he said, you run the 800. I said, the 800? I said, man, I said, what? He was like, oh man, Johnny, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna tell you how to run it. I said, all right. He said, I want you to be at 30 seconds at the 200. I want you to be at a minute at the 400. And then he said, I want you to be at 130 at the 600. So he running across the track. I hit the times. The gun, went off. I was at 30. I came back. I was at a minute. I was at 130. So when I got to the 200 mark, he just told me to sprint. And I end up beating everybody. I beat, these was 800 meter guys that was, good back then. And I think I ran 156, and he's like, how was it? I'm like, oh, I never run that again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So proviso. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then that same day, Byron Moss, it was a Bloom invite, and y'all probably can look it up. He went 151 in the 8. One of the top quarter milers in the state. Graduated in 1989 from Proviso East High School.
Yeah, Byron Moss. Yeah.
So, I look at it, and people, I know Tony and Jeff, y'all are, Jeff, you was an 800 meter runner. And, I'm like, I never ran. I mean, I put the miles in cross country, don't get me wrong, but I never knew that I could run the 800. And I coached someone like Bill Glassner. I try to teach my kids pace, what times to be at. And I tell them that we don't have to run. I don't think, my philosophy, I don't think you got to run a lot of miles to run a decent 800 time.
Right. Yeah, we got to get into that coaching philosophy. I'm kind of with you on that, but Proviso, in the 80s, similar to Hoya Paranoia, the Michigan Crew came on the late 80s. Proviso West came on as a speed program. If you look at the history prior to Proviso, you all was dominant across the state in the 60s and 70s in distance and even the pole vault. So
yes.
What kind of led to the emergence of speed in Proviso West High School in the 80s?
Man, I guess I can say I kind of kicked it. Tracy Robinson was one of the guys that ran track. He was fast. Myself, Ray. Oh my God.
Demographics changed too, huh?
Yeah, I mean.
I read a couple of stories.
That's the main thing.
What you say, Jeff?
I mean, demographics changed.
Oh yeah. I couldn't hear you. That's all.
The hillside area.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, back, like Pierre, you said something earlier, back in the township, it was not a lot of blacks. My grandmother, when she moved to Bellwood in 1969, believe it or not, everything past Manheim Road was cornfields.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything across Manheim Road was cornfields. So, everybody that lived on 22nd, everybody went to Proviso East. So once Proviso West was built, that's how it expanded, to Westchester, Melrose. But everybody from Melrose, North Lake, all that, they all went to Proviso East High School.
Right, that's how Proviso East dominated in track and basketball. We may get into that later. But yeah, you like Tony mentioned, a bunch of all-state appearances trying to lead up to your senior year, won state in the long jump. Actually, for you track and field fans out there, if you get on IHSA Archives, 1988 state meet is available. Yes, Johnny was not clean shaven his whole life. He did have a Jerry curl. IHSA confirmed that. So you will see him long jumping in 1988 with his slick Deion Sanders Jerry curl. So so what happened after high school? You won state title. What'd you get into after that? Summer track. What was next?
A lot of people, Pierre, thought I had fell off the face of the earth because in high school, my name was Johnny Nolan. And that's my mother's maiden name. My father is Johnny Jenkins. So my mother changed my name my senior year, so that's why it's Johnny Nolan Jenkins. So I went on to I went on to Mississippi Valley State for a year, and then I transferred to Chicago State.
Right, Chicago. Wait, did Chicago State have Keith Thomas at that time, or was that a little bit later?
No, Keith was gone.
Oh, he left, right. And I also know that you trained with some current and future Olympians, like in Florida or something like that.
Yeah, in 2000, I went over to Wide World of Sports with Bobby Kersey, Joanna Hayes, Gail Devers. There was a lot of the UCLA and USC girls, and then there was some professional baseball players: Ray Langford, Brian Jordan, Lance Johnson, Bernard Gilkey. Yeah, so we was down there in 2000.
Oh, I must have got my dates mixed. I thought that happened right away. Thought maybe you tried to go for the '92 Olympics or something.
No, Pierre. It
you
was
want Carl Lewis embarrassing you, huh?
No, I had an opportunity. It's crazy. I brought it to Carl Lewis when I saw him in Texas at the coaches convention. I met Carl Lewis coming out of high school in '88 in Indianapolis, IPPI, at the Olympic trials, and it was crazy. Ball State was trying to recruit me, so I had an opportunity to meet him. The coach brought me on the track when Carl was doing the long jump, and I had an opportunity to meet Carl Lewis.
Right, and we transitioned from the college days. Then eventually you got into coaching. I believe you started Proviso East was your first coaching gig. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what made you want to get into coaching?
I really didn't, Pierre. I was doing sports management, and I got into sports management, and I got a phone call. She was like a mother to me, and she was just like, Johnny, are you interested in coaching? And I'm like, no. I mean, I go back up to Proviso West and always help out, you know. And she was like, well, Proviso East track program needs some help. I'm like, I didn't go to Proviso East. You know, back then, East and West was a rivalry. You know, why would I'm graduated from Proviso West, so why would I go help them? But it was all about the kids. And I went over there, and the head coach was retiring in a year, and I was supposed to learn from him. But when I got over there, he transferred and went over to Proviso West, so I was over there by myself. So that's how I started.
Right, and I don't understand that you went deep into the rivalry. Then, if you're going over the East, I know we had a previous guest who from Decatur. He said, "There's no way I'm going to Eisenhower. It's not going to happen." But look at you, John. I can't believe you, man. What your classmates think of you. But you at East, and I believe Alan Turner, right? Was he there when you got there, or did he come later?
No, it was crazy. I haven't seen Alan in a while, and I was at the gas station getting gas and bumped into him, and I told him I was a head coach at Proviso, and would he like to, come over and help? And at the time, he was living in Bolingbrook, and Proviso East was in Maywood, and Alan was like, man, I'll let you know. But eventually he came over, he helped me out, and we had some success.
Right. First of all, you hired the guy who smoked you in 1986. By the way, he won the state championship in the long jump. But we ain't gonna get into that. But yeah, obviously,
But hold on, Pierre. But Pierre, guess what? And you can look this up. His senior year, no, his junior year, my sophomore year, me and him was on the relay team in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. We went 3:13 in the mile relay.
Mm.
Yeah, it was me and Allen and a couple other two guys, a guy from Downers Grove, and I think Hansdale South and Downers Grove. Yeah.
Man, that's an all-star team, dude. I'll be loading up teams, dropping times. Stop
Hey,
playing
who
with
did
us.
y'all
I was
lose to?
with
know the story.
I was with Northview Track Club at the time.
I remember now.
We don't care about that.
Yeah. What you say, Jeff?
He said he don't care about an all-star team. What's your real school go run? Yeah.
Hey Jeff, hey, turn your audio up. It's low.
Stop mumbling. Yeah, so like you mentioned, Proviso East, Nicholas Brown, probably one of the top guys, 24-footer, 50-footer. You had a hand in that. Ended up going to Illinois. And then you come back home. Yeah, so how'd you transition from Proviso East to coming back home to Proviso West? How'd you end up there?
Wow. It's crazy.
Keep it real.
Well,
This is the keep it real hour right here.
well, we're gonna keep it real. I had turned in the 9 years at Proviso, I had turned the program around. Help with other coaches. Like I gave opportunity to Billy Poole Harris, Coach Scotty Ware, Victor DeBose. Who else? I think that's about it. I gave them young men an opportunity, and we tried to turn Proviso around, and it was just like a light switch. They told me they weren't bringing me back, and I was like, why? Like, what happened? So it was out there that Proviso East don't have a booster club, so it was out there that Coach Jenkins was stealing concession stand money, and when the facts, so they let me go, so I was not coaching for 2 years, and I think I was standing next to Tony Jones at Concordia at the sectionals, and Old Park coach was like, "Man, Johnny, we tried to bring you on, and you got bad rap out there." And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "Man, they said you was, stealing money from concessions." And I'm like, stealing money from the program. I'm like, what? So, I investigated and found out what was what, and everything they said was not true. How can you steal from yourself? Every year, me and my wife, we'll take money out our savings and start at concessions. And so I had receipts for all that stuff. It was just politics. It was politics. It was people that that was hating. And
who was hating? Who was hating?
Who was hating?
Come on, Jeff. You trying to start beef again, Jeff?
No, I'm just trying to start beef. Because,
hey, it was
unseen forces that was hating.
this is a white power.
So let me tell you about the haters and perpetrators. Like Tony said, it was just people hating and saying they could coach better and they could do this and they could do that. And they gave, they end up letting me go and put people in my position. And the kids didn't like it. I never wanted to be accused as a thief or something like that. I won't take, I give to anybody. Anybody can ask me for something, I give it to them. I just didn't want my name out there as a thief. I'm like, I give, and Tony know for a fact, when I go out and back kids' shoes, jogging shoes, spikes, it doesn't matter. I feed kids, and it just hurt me bad. So I heard there was an opening at Proviso West, and I called Tony, and I told him, I said, man, I wasn't gonna do it, and I told Tony I was gonna apply. He was like, so if you get it, Johnny, what do you think, the program will be? And I'm like, man, I get an opportunity to coach at the school I went to, and it ain't nothing but talent out in Maywood and Bellwood, so I say, Tony, I think I'm gonna be successful. I get in there and get my feet wet, and I had some great athletes at Proviso West, ranked in the nation, in the state every year, and just trying to really put Proviso back on the map like it was in the 80s and 90s.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Gotcha. So, what was that first year, that transition to Proviso West after your hiatus from Proviso East?
wow, it was crazy. Like the previous coach that was there,
Did you have to lay the whip down on the kids?
man. It was,
You know what I'm talking about.
yes, Jeff. Like, I consider,
Like, who is you?
right. I consider, you, Pierre, and Tony like brothers, and I used to always call Tony. And believe it or not, it was very different coaching at Proviso East. Like if I had 6 o'clock practice, I had 45 kids, 50 kids at 6 o'clock practice. And when I went to West, and I tried to do that, it was like the kids was spoiled at Proviso West. It's like, I thought it'd be a little better, but it was a lot worse. So, it was like pulling teeth. I had a lot of cavities to pull, a lot. It's like at Proviso East, the kids walk to school in the rain and the snow. And it's a 90, 95, 100 degrees. They walk to school. At Proviso, I mean, you might get a couple hundred kids, 600 kids that walk to school. Everybody else get dropped off. So, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I got a lot of babies over here, a lot of spoiled kids.
So what did you do to change the culture?
Well, it was me and Victor DeBose and at first, and me and him was together for 1 year, and then I brought in Andy, which is an Olympic coach now. And I just said, I had to tell the kids, like, they had to believe in me, believe in him. And with the grades, like when at Proviso East, for 9 years, boys and girls track had the highest GPA in the school. Like my second year, I had 6 kids, and the lowest ACT score was a 27. That was Anton Jennings, and he cried.
And you putting him out there.
I mean, hey, he cried. But I had Marcus Dunlap that scored a 35. Marcus Waters scored a 34. Nicholas Brown scored a 32, and DeLon Johnson scored a 31. So I had, it was like the kids, I couldn't believe it. Like, I had some great
kids.
kids.
Either.
No, but believe it or not,
it's a lot of 30s, bro.
No, this is the truth. I mean, Proviso West is like the bad sheep school of the Western Suburban Silver Conference. Everyone knows that because it's mostly distance-oriented schools. But I've heard that Proviso West had some really smart kids on the team. Johnny, you should get more credit for that.
Oh yeah. So now, and I tell my kids that, coming from Proviso East, Proviso West is African American. Everybody, the first thing they want to do is put down African American kids. Like when you talk to a college coach, the first thing they ask is about their grades. So I tell my kids, give me something to talk about. What's his ACT scores, SATs. So when I tell them, look, you ain't gonna have a problem with them. They academically sound. They good. But like I tell my kids, give me something to fight for. I don't want to go to every week. I see your name on the ineligibility list. The ISSA, they give you 1.5 to be eligible to run track. I said that's crazy. That's a D average.
That's low.
So when I was at Proviso East and at Proviso West, I said, if you get a D, the first time it's a pass. The second time you can't run. I don't care if you're eligible because you're not, huh? What'd you say, Jeff?
I said the first time that's a pass, a D.
Man, you get that's a warning. You get a D, you can't. I mean, come on. If I'm talking, Jeff, if you're the head coach at University of Illinois and you're a D average student, but you run 10.5, I can't. What can you do for me? What can I do for you? If I got a kid that run 10.5 and he got a 1.8 GPA, he got a 15 on the ACT, he can't help you.
No, I said the first time ain't no pass.
No.
That's what I'm getting at.
Man,
I'm nipping it in the bud.
No. But see, Jeff, this how it is. That I don't know how Lane Tech and St. Rita or any other school in the state.
I was kind of the same. I coached Lane Tech girls for 7 years. They had the highest GPA in the school. So yeah, right. I never had to worry about grades.
So, but like this, so when the season start, then you had to put your roster in, and then they check the kids' grades to be eligible. So the first week, when the first week coming, you got kids that's at practice. So you might not even know these kids. So it won't be fair for me to tell them you can't run the first meet because you got a D. So what I do is I sit them down and talk to them like, look, hey Jeff, this D in algebra, look man, this you at 60%. So this got to be up, man. I need a C plus B. You need to go to that teacher and get some extra credit or do something because you ain't gonna be able to run. And I don't care who you are. I never, in all the years I've been coaching, I never went to a class and asked the teacher to change a grade. I done went to a class and I asked a question like, I had 2 kids. And Herman Rome at Proviso East, the kid scored a 28 on the ACT. And the whole outdoor, and I told Tony this, the whole outdoor season, he was ineligible. Like, I think it was conference, he got eligible. And I went up to him, I said, what's the problem? He said, school got boring. I say, so that mean you don't go to first period class? So he had to take credit recovery. He had to do extra. He had to work hard to get his grade up for him to pass English. And like I tell kids, man, listen, do what you got to do in the classroom. I can take care of the rest on the track. I don't. If something bothering you or you get discouraged about something, come to me and talk to me. So being a coach, I don't know if y'all, Pierre, you're a head coach at St. Rita. It's more than coaching. It's like you're a mentor, you're a father, you're a counselor, you're a dean. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're AD because you got to make decisions. And if a kid get a D, keep getting a D, then you can't run for me, for real. I don't care who you are. You can be the Stewart brothers. You can be Cottrell. You can be Keyshawn Robinson. You can be, hey.
Right. Some of those names we do recognize. So let's get right into it. So you bring some of those familiar names up. 2018, what a year for the Panthers. State championship in the 4x4 came out of left field somewhere. We had to do a double take. Like, maybe they said Proviso East. I guess it was West.
Hey, Pierre, like Jeff said, Jeff mentioned something. Jeff was like, Johnny, we was a turning point. Like, for us to have this beautiful facility, for us to have, the kids that come through that school, I just said I wanted to change the culture. I wanted to change. I want to be competitive, and not just the 4x4. In all the events.
Whoa. I'm gonna let you finish. Well, we're gonna come back to that because you just said all the events. Continue.
Okay, I got you, Jeff.
You know where we're going with this.
Okay, I got you. I it's all good. But
you open up that door, that's all I'm saying.
All right, it's open. So 2018, I thought was gonna be a wonderful. I know Proviso East had a good team. And I know we had a good team. We lost we lost Justin Bronze after the indoor season because he wanted to focus on football, and that was a tremendous blow to our team because the previous year he got qualified for state in the 200 and I think the 400, but we was hurt. I was like, man. So I knew we had another kid, John Fox. He was a good 400-meter runner for us. And then he got hurt. He got hurt his senior year. His hamstring was bothering him. So I had a kid, Derek Crosby. He had came out after basketball, and Derek was decent. He was a decent quarter miler. And then I had Gregory Williamson. It was his first year ever running. Like, he went to Illinois Prep. He fell out the blocks and went 7-11. He couldn't run no other leg, so we had to have him go first. Teaching the
Johnny, can I interject real quick? No, not in a negative way, positive. What I wanted to say was, for the viewers out there, everything, like 2017 was the year that Proviso East went to, I think, Penn Relays, and he also
it was 2018.
No, I'm talking about East.
Yeah, they went. It was 2018.
The year before though, they went 317, right? They didn't win state though, but they ran 317.
Exactly.
They also had a 4x2, which I think inspired your guys because that's your rival school. You guys were like, F that, we can do better than that.
Exactly.
Your guys came back and said, like, if we train, because I remember talking with you, said, Tony, I think we can do better than what East did if my guys would just listen to me.
Right, exactly.
That's the setup that I wanted to share.
So yeah, what I did was, after that year, I told my kids, I'm like, look, we can match East man for man, and I think that we are better than Proviso East. And they was like, I said, just look at it. We can have Justin Bronze lead off. I said we can give it to John Fox, give it to Derek Crosby, and give it to Cottrell. That right there, like, that right there, that would have broke our school record in the 4x4. And those two guys, the lead, Justin Bronze and John Fox, like I said, Justin quit, and then John Fox got hurt, so I had to find two other guys to step up. But yeah, I told them I believe that we would have beat Proviso East if they didn't false start at the sectional.
Oh, that's what happened to him. I'm like, what happened to you boys?
I don't know, man.
But they changed the lineup at the sectionals. He was Mark Jones was trying to match up with us leg for leg, and had a guy that was like an 800-meter runner. He had him going first in blocks, and he jumped out the blocks.
Oh, we heard you paid them off, but that's another story. Obviously,
no, man, I wanted
like that created a domino effect. Obviously, you all
Wait.
Go ahead, Tony. Jeff, excuse me.
Before we get into that, because you said you for every event.
Oh, that's next, Jeff. That's next.
All right.
I can't keep you
Some
quiet
of you
for too
head
long,
coaches,
Jeff.
y'all killing me with this. Y'all doing a disservice to.
We go get that, Jeff. Hold on.
Like, I'm just being on some real shit.
We gonna get that. We gonna get that, Jeff. You next, I promise. So obviously that created a domino effect. You all won state. You end up going out to New Balance Nationals. Things didn't work out the way you planned. You all end up getting some championship rings, which is bigger than team champions, I might add. Those rings was kind of fat. And then also, I think that was that played a part in you all getting the new upgraded Mondo surfaced for Proviso West Fieldhouse, like 2018.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I went to Orlando, and I met the owner of Mondo and Kiefer, and I was telling him that our track needed some upgrades, and I took pictures of the track already, and I showed him. And once we got back to Chicago, the owner from Kiefer, from Mondo, met me, and we had sat down, and he was like, Johnny, we need to get this done. So, us winning state, that got the district fired up. And whatever I had wanted after that, it was history.
Pat.
Most definitely. The prior year, you all finally got rid of those. What is it? Those spaceship orange lights that mess with people's eyes. And then a few years after that, brand new
Well,
track. So
we got new lighting. We got a new Bose sound system. We got electrical on the track. We hopefully with this Corona or after it's over, we should be getting that digital scoreboard, $150,000 digital scoreboard, and some more lift doors, and that's it. For right now with the field house.
right, so more to come. Obviously, with that new track comes, I guess, new training and things like that. I know Jeff want to jump in with some training and stuff. I see him over there shaking, ready to ready to attack you like a rabid dog. But
No. I'm just, hey, we
so what kind of pressure that put on you as a coach, Johnny? Obviously, getting a new surface and what you call the mecca of field houses in the state of Illinois. I guess I believe you said the Midwest as well. How did your coaching change given those new upgrades you all had?
Well, it changed a lot, Pierre, because I just didn't want to be a we won the 4x4. I wanted to do more. I want to go downstate as a team in the hurdles, the throws, the jumps, and the relays of individuals. And I know that's what Jeff was barking at. Because
Jeff, you be barking, Jeff? Huh?
Nah, man.
I know
that
that
ain't what I'm barking about.
What you
I'm
barking
about, and I'm not trying to put you on blast, but
I
it's
am.
just not
I'm
true.
kidding.
It's a
I'm
lot
kidding.
the sprint coaches. It's just like you guys. I understand this is track, not cross country, but a lot of you, not just saying you in general, but if you're the head coach, you're held accountable for that, and y'all just like almost completely ignore developing a distance program. And I've had conversations with y'all say, oh, well, we ain't got the kids. Recruit, do something. Hey, the buck stops here. You're the head coach. It's your job to get out there and find the athletes or whatever you got to do and to train them. So very few people. We y'all hear some other stuff like here. Giles said, and I completely agree with him. Most kids in high school are barely 400 runners. Most, like 99%, can barely run a good 400 to get to the next level. So what does that mean? More of our kids, and as you said, Johnny, you were able. I somewhat disagree with, like, you need a decent amount of distance to be a great 800 runner, but you were able to run a good 800, and I guarantee it wasn't just you were doing some type of value. Am I correct?
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, just why hasn't your distance program? Because I know you're a good coach, great coach, but why hasn't the distance program developed yet?
Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask Jeff this, because you. No. And I'm curious because Jeff. Because you say this.
I posed a question for him. Now you're trying to come in and interject with another question.
I'll wait there. Go ahead. I'll wait. Because you sound like one of Tony's contributors.
Hey Jeff, I had a 4x8 at Proviso East though. So at Proviso West,
we talk about as of late.
As of late.
Yes.
Okay, so let me explain to you.
Okay.
I got out of 100 out of 100 soccer kids, I got my first kid was a freshman this year in distance. So I'm pulling teeth with the cross country coach and the soccer coach. How do a kid run cross country don't run track? I don't understand it. So unless I got to start, I got to take over the cross country job.
You got to be an assistant cross country coach or something.
Man, I got to take over the job because something ain't working. How do you have 15, 20 kids in cross country every year and I only get 1 or 2? I don't understand it. I personally hated cross country, but I coached it
because of track.
So,
Tony
so
will tell you, I was a good cross country coach, but I could care less about cross country.
so let me say this, Jeff.
Connect.
So we in another transition. We supposed to be getting a new AD. So I'm gonna sit down with the new AD and I'm explaining to it, him or her, that I need all the coaches until, Proviso West program, football, basketball, track, to be state, for us to be the top 5 team in the state every year. I need help from other programs. It can't be 100 soccer kids out and it's 100 kids out for soccer, boys soccer, and I only get one. Then in cross country, I think the team was 20 this year. And, come on, man. So ever since I've been there, that's been the problem. Everybody say, "Oh, Jeff, you run cross country." I'm like, okay, well, Jeff, you're gonna run track. Well, I'm gonna listen to my cross country coach. Well, he's not the track coach. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I said. Either way, you gotta have this is just my opinion. You gotta have someone who's either a liaison or someone who is a cross country and track coach to bridge it. Because if kids already, hey, running cross country, and then you tell them, hey, I want you to run for another 5-6 months out of the year, you gotta sell it. You know what I mean? And
Jeff, you know that
they're gonna trust the person if you're not there, and then all of a sudden you come out the blue saying, hey, you should run track, and they like, well, you weren't around during the summer, you weren't around during the fall. This is the first time we're seeing you. You're a stranger to them.
right.
You haven't shown up at any cross country meet. They don't know you. They just look at you. Because I know you don't work in a building, so it's not like they see you a lot.
But Jeff, guess what? This year, I had, for the last 3 years, I've been off work. I had surgery, cancer, shoulder surgery, and I've been in the school every day. I've been in every lunch period. And then I talked to the kids that ran cross country.
They need to wrap up their security.
Hey, I got 24-hour access to the school. Ain't that right, Tony Joe? But yeah, Jeff. So trust and believe, Jeff. Before I retire from track and field, we're gonna have a 4x8 relay. We're gonna have some.
I guess I have to come out there and help you coach a little bit.
Nah, you stay where you at.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jeff.
All right.
See, Jeff, one of those guys, like one of Tony's contributors who are, ladies and gentlemen, track and field, 14 out of the 18 events are speed-related events. Why are we attacking people over 4 events? Give me a break. Give me a break.
Okay, because we've also seen teams place.
No, hold on, Jeff. Hold on. Okay,
No, we've seen teams place top 3 in state because they had dominant people in those other 4 events you're talking about.
Okay, dominant. What is dominant, Jeff? First of all, I believe you or Tony was the king of saying it takes, or maybe it was Billy Harris, it takes 2 or 3 years to build a distance runner. If he getting guys that juniors and seniors, whatever, the clock's gonna run out here. Because everybody's not at Lane Tech on the north side of Chicago where they can run on the trails and they have a team of 100. You can pluck all these distance runners. He may not, I don't know what his team makeup is, but mine, we only got 30 kids, bro. We are overall a speed school.
But that's creating a culture. Bro, I ran cross country for 1 year and I promise you, it wasn't 100 kids on there. And most
Jeff,
of us
look where you are, look where we at, Jeff. That's
what?
Lane Tech. Lane Tech had that culture from the 60s, Jeff. And it's the same
That
thing.
culture
What are you
died
talking
and
about?
it got revitalized.
AP.
It didn't get revitalized last
When
year.
I first was on track, my freshman year, what did we, Tony, have maybe 5 guys training in the summer?
We have like maybe 6 or 7.
That was it.
Well, we're not talking about summer, bro.
First of all, that's a frivolous argument because Proviso West used to be a dominant distance program.
We're talking about now. I
They've
already
had
said they were
success.
dominant in the 60s. I said that.
And first of all, they're in a conference that's a distance conference anyway.
So they have to adjust to that conference?
All right, let's use distance. Lyons Township in York, right? They have, and Johnny in Oak Park, They have a combination of all of that. That's why they win. Every
I'll
year.
give you Oak Park, but
All
the
of them.
other ones is not. I'll give you Oak Park,
What are you talking
but
about?
the rest
Lions
of them,
Township in York? York
not annually.
York has
Are you
won
kidding
3
me?
state titles since 2000. What are you talking about?
No.
Right.
No. They won a title in 2010, right, with those speed guys. That they haven't touched a team title since, right?
Yes, they won in 2000, Pierre.
I said 2010, Tony.
Pierre, they
2009.
also won. Pierre, they've also won 3 or 4.
So every 10
trophies.
years, Tony.
They won
2000,
trophies.
2010. So this is their year this year, right? Every
Pierre,
10
so they
years,
would
years is a
Pierre.
lot more in a lot of schools.
No,
you're
hey
right,
Pierre.
but don't say they do that, but
If they don't win,
they get dominant speed
all right.
every once in a while.
hey, let me
At
put
the
it to you like
current
this.
rate every 10 years.
Let me put it to you like this: if they don't win, they're very competitive at the state
Exactly.
level.
This year they would have won state, fellas.
Again, 2020. That's 10 years. 10 years
Pierre,
they won
Pierre.
state. What are we saying?
Pierre doesn't make any
Pierre,
You
I'm
can
gonna
say what
tell
you want.
and
You
we've
can
had
say
so
what
many
you want.
conversations.
Those are
And this is kind of how I was coming at Johnny. Coaches like you keep, instead of finding a way how to, you make excuses why you don't have this.
Oh no. I'm not making
like,
any excuses.
instead of
I'm
like-
telling you what it is. We're not north side, we're south side, bro.
So can I say this? Can I say this, y'all?
Dude, I lived in the west side of Chicago and I did all my runs on my
Did you
own.
coach on the west side?
I'm not
Did you coach the
trying
west
to
side
get there.
team? Have you coached the west side team? Did you coach at
I
Orr?
lived there.
Did you
I
co-
ran on my
Did
own.
you coach at Orr? Did you coach at Lawndale? Did you coach at Michelle Clark or Crane? Absolutely not. You at Lane Tech with 100,000 kids on the team. Give me a break. You trying to sell 400? Well, 400 I'm okay, but 800 in distance to guys. If the first practice they're gonna quit. It's gonna happen.
No, that's
You
that
have to have a
BS.
team.
They're not going to quit. They're not. You give them a reason to stay.
Yeah, let me buy you some Jordans,
hey,
man.
hey, hold up,
That's
hold up.
But you keep doing it instead of finding a.
How you know what we
way out
doing? I'm just saying.
Like, yeah, no. You haven't given one way how. Your whole argument is predicated on I can't do this, feel bad.
I
for
never
me.
said
that's
can't.
That's that lazy coaching I was talking about. When we're not, that's lazy coaching.
Let me say this. Let me chime in. First of all,
Go ahead.
when I started coaching at Lane, Pierre, since you want to use this 100
It
man
was
army
not.
argument, we had like 12 or 13 kids on the team. I fucking built that shit from scratch because I demanded it, or I would have quit. Fuck that. I made
4,000 kids, bro. We have 400.
It doesn't matter. It's the culture.
No, that's a culture. We built it up.
You
Pierre,
built
are you not listening? We had 12 kids on the team when I started.
Okay, because so let me
Let's
ask you
move
this.
on.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just ask y'all this.
We can have a whole episode on this. Yeah,
I know. Look at this. Look at this, Jeff. I look at what Tony said. Yes, you know, when you go to the conference, so I sit down and I strategize. We're gonna lose points in the 3,200 meter. We're gonna lose point in the mile. We're gonna lose point in the 800. And I say after that, I say I don't want to lose no more points. I give up 30 points, 40 points. So, but what you saying, Jeff? East St. Louis don't have a distance team. Cahokia don't have a distance team, but they got a 4x8.
But they make some guys run the 800.
They do. That's what I'm saying. They got a 4.
They don't look at it like, guess what? If this guy can't, if he's not 100, 200 guy, whatever, at least turn him into a 4-8.
Hey, Jeff. And guess what, Jeff? Jeff, I understand.
And they run sub-8.
And guess
They do.
And for the record, Pierre, guess who won the most 4x8 state titles in the history of IHSA? Big
For
school.
Cahokia or
East
East
St. Louis.
East St. Louis.
Yes.
East St. Louis.
Or finished runner up.
Yes. I can believe that.
Running 742 year after year.
Hey, they quarter milers run 800s. Plain and simple.
That's what I'm getting at. I ain't saying everybody got to have a mile or 2 miler, but man, you telling me y'all can't even get some 800 runners on the track with all that speed? That's what I'm getting at.
Hey, Jeff.
Like, take the guy that's okay. You only can run 52.
He did say kids are soft these days, right? He did say that, right?
You can only run 11.5 instead of me sacrificing you to try to like squeeze you into a 4x1. Why don't I turn you into possibly a 155 type 800 guy?
Jeff, I understand that, but like it's something like this. This is what you say about building. Pierre said it. You know, I'm trying to build the program to get it. Like I got more coaches. So I got a hurdle coach, I got a pole vault coach, I got a throws coach. You know what I'm saying? And this year, you know, I mean, you saw it last year, but this year you started seeing, like I had a kid throw 48 already indoor.
Yeah.
Then I had another kid go 46, 45. I got a freshman throwing almost 42 feet, 49 feet. I got hurdlers that's top in the conference. They juniors. So, you know, I got jumpers. I got a kid that did 11.6 in the pole vault. So I'm turning the page.
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying?
No,
and so I'm only losing. This the crazy part. I'm losing, but the two kids I'm losing two great athletes.
Yeah.
I'm losing Cottrell Askin.
Some great athletes that didn't
Right.
compete this year. That's
right. I'm losing
So
Cottrell.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Pierre.
No, I'm just curious. You mentioned losing athletes. How do you think your team would have fared this year? Have things would have gone according to plan?
Okay, so yeah, like I said, and I'm gonna say this to Lane Tech and all
I'm
the.
gonna let you talk. I got it off my chest.
So I'm gonna just speak out to the whole state. Everybody was running good. Everybody was running good before Corona came, and last year I lost Gregory Williamson. He had we thought he had plantar fasciitis. He had a stress fracture on the bottom of his foot.
Yeah.
So we wanted to repeat, go downstate, repeat, go to nationals. Once my kids got a taste of nationals, you know, you take kids that ain't left Chicago or, you know, and you go to one of the biggest high school meets of their life. You know, I just think they was nervous. And you know, three of them, I lost two of them, but, you know, Keyshawn was an alternate. Keyshawn got hurt at state the year 2018. So I knew I had three kids coming back. So I can find another, you know, freshman, sophomore I can bring up. Pierre, our goal was this year to break our indoor school record, our outdoor school record in the 4x4, and then break it again next year with my juniors. So that being said, we would, you know, our prediction was to win state in the 4x4. You know, I know a couple other schools had, you know, some say so, like Jeff right there, Lane Tech, Tony Jones, Jerry, you know, the Lane Tech crew. And y'all did, Jeff. You know, congratulations. You moved over to the boys' side. Congratulations on 325.
I just helped out. That's it.
Well, you know, 325 indoor, that was great. You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell Pierre yesterday that you know, we ran 330.1 with a sophomore and three juniors, and Keyshawn Robinson wasn't on it. Cottrell wasn't on it, and Isaiah Guider. Isaiah Guider was a sophomore last year when we ran against y'all at sectionals. That he ain't ran the 4x4 or Keyshawn. Neither one of them ran on the relay yet. So, you know, we could take that 54 leadoff man and put Cottrell on there, and there we go where y'all at. Then I could take Brian Minor off and put Keyshawn on it, and then we drop the time again. You know, because, you know, our record indoor was 321.95 at Illinois Prep top time.
I thought Cottrell was on that.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
The 55th. The 55th.
No, he wasn't.
He was on there.
On anchor, bro.
He ran sub 50 on there. I'm positive.
No.
He was on it.
No.
He was on it. Johnny, he was on it.
He wasn't on that, Jeff.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. I was there. It's on Twitter. I was there. On anchor, on anchor, he tried. He just couldn't. He couldn't catch the Lane Tech guy.
Yeah,
he was there.
He tried.
Oh, I got to look. I got to go back.
It's okay. Hey, it's lane 1, proviso 0. But hey, you got to say the energy for next year. We never know.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, Jeff. I know Drew. I know Drew run on the relay. I know Drew was on your relay last year. Drew, I guess he was hurt. So I know Juan and Jalen and Drew is coming back next year. I know, you know, Pierre was like, I just do.
Hold it. Are you scouting these boys? Are you scouting these boys? Tony Jones, he is scouting the lane guys.
No,
What's up with
no, excuse me, state. Like I'm gonna say this out here to everybody that everybody that's
Johnny right there getting blazed.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. He doing the same thing I would do to the guys and the girls I coach. Like, yo, you see them dudes coming back? Y'all better than them.
Yeah, they scout.
right.
Man,
No, so
Johnny,
you know, I'm gonna give you like this, Tony.
Johnny,
why you doing them like that, Tony? Tony, why you doing them like that,
Come
Tony?
on, Tony, stop.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. Okay, my memory, all right. But I wouldn't put a 54 leg on there no more.
Hey, you always gotta know
Cause
your
Keyshawn would have went first, so it would be nice to see, you know.
Right.
But
So
you know,
ahead.
Hey Jeff, I just say this. I hope this Corona be over with. I'm St. Charles North. They're gonna have a good 4x1, 4x2. Batavia gonna have a good 4x4. Lane Tech gonna have a good 4x4 next year. Proviso West will be in the mix.
4x4, 4x2, and 4x1.
Oh yeah, I see that. I know that. You got. I know you got Jalen and.
I got some skinny boys in the weight room now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see why this dude is scouting Lane Tech, bro. He want to work with y'all.
Hey,
No,
Johnny,
I'm gonna keep.
He wasn't.
Okay. Excuse me. Hey Jeff, let me.
Punch him in the mouth.
Hey Tony, let me put this. Let me say that. I'm putting this on the record. Jeff, let me say this to you, Jeff. I knew Lane Tech was good because y'all had some sophomores on the relay at sectionals like we did too last year. So I knew y'all was coming back. And I told Tony, I told Boatwright, you got two kids. You got Michael and Kyle at Lockport, and so you know I know like on the off season, that a couple Lockport kids. I know, yeah, I see him as a sophomores how they ran, and they junior year they both ran 48, and I seen Boatwright, and I asked Boatwright, he said, yeah, them two of mine. I said, okay, so it wasn't nothing personal with Lane Tech. I was just Lockport was the number one on my this year was the number one on my radar because Boatwright is a Hall of Fame coach, a great coach. He didn't coach some of the state best. And I wanted to see if I can, you know, outcoach Pops. You know, that's all. So it was nothing personal with Lane Tech. They opened our eyes, you know what I'm saying? Y'all open our eyes. It's all good.
They opened up a can of whoop it. No, I'm kidding. But
go ahead.
Yeah, you talk about go ahead, T. Jones.
What I was gonna allude to was now that I think we probably should move a little further but what do you think about like if we were to have the season come back miraculously, even we're on life support, do you think kids are training now, Johnny? In your opinion, are your kids still training? To your knowledge?
A couple of them are getting out, you know, doing some runs. Not all of them. Cottrell is very ancient. You know, this is his senior year, and we just had goals, fellas. We had goals, and we was ready. We was getting geared up for conference, Illinois Prep, and our outdoor season. We was looking forward to that. And a lot of kids are just hurt right now, you know, and I can't even imagine being a senior and going through this. This is crazy. I mean, it's nuts. I can't even tell him, you know, I know how you feel. You know, it's like if we go back May 1st, you know, if they give us 6 weeks, you know, he ain't been coaching in 5 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. And it's like, you know, that goes for the whole state. I mean, y'all as well, all these kids that's seniors, man, it's a hurting feeling. you know, and a lot of people say, well, you know, about, you know, the safety of the kids. And I don't know, this virus that is spread and killed, you know, all these people in the United States, man, it's just a hurting feeling. You know, I wish they can give the seniors another semester, you know, or school or something. Let them have their senior year.
I don't think they want to stay in
That ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna
I
happen.
think they want to run, but I don't think they want to stay in high school any longer, bro.
Heck no.
No, I know what Johnny meant. He just means
I know,
Yeah.
I know what it means. It's like
So-
NCAA,
So let me say this, y'all. What if it's a kid out here that was a senior, that's one of the top kids in the state, and he haven't even ran yet, and he ain't even committed to a college? So, you know, it's like, man.
somewhere. Hey, this would be my advice to him, and it sucks. You make the best out of a bad situation. Go, if you want to run at a Power 5 or whatever, even though I think a lot of that's overrated, you gotta go to coach that fits your needs. That's just me. But if that's your goal, go somewhere, bust your ass off, run, train, treat it like a job, get your time up, then transfer somewhere, get a scholarship.
Yeah, you're right. You know, it's just
it's not obviously the ideal path, but if that's your goal to do that, you might have to go to a college that wasn't your number one choice to begin with, grind out. Like a lot of people go to a junior college or city college before they transfer over. They get their grades up or whatever, transfer over. Same type of analogy.
So let me ask you this, Jeff. What about, like, it was crazy. I had a kid that just came out from basketball and can jump fast. That probably was gonna go downstate in the long jump and be on my relays.
Yeah.
And you know, he came up to me, he said, Coach Jenkins, can you help me get a scholarship? And I told him, yeah. I mean, I can get you somewhere, because he really didn't get no playing time in basketball. He's another Kevon, Derek Crosby, you know, type kid, but I'm talking about he's fast. So I can't help him, you know, and it's crazy.
You still can. Like, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, we're all still holding on for hope. Although that, you know what I mean, nationals, USATF nationals canceled, which more than likely is a sign that I had to say is going to be canceled. But say, for example, you could still train them during the summer. You know what I mean? Get them better. If there's a small meet where you could jump in the show, like I'm not saying it's ideal, but I'm saying because and I got a feeling next conversation gonna be coming. So sorry, I'm like transitioning. Like, it's just for all athletes. Just because you say, for example, they completely cancel the summer season, does that mean these track athletes should sit on their ass until, you know what I mean, most of them to October, November? No. Even though it sucks, they still need to train. They still need to be active. They may not like it. The training now. That's where coaches will really have to coach, because you're going to be training to develop, not training to race. So
good point.
That's just my thoughts on it. You know what I mean? And you could still help the kid out, develop him if you feel like this guy's a great jumper and all that. And a lot of it comes down to the kid. It's hard because eventually they'll pass this and they'll say, hey, either, you know what I mean, trash on the resume or not. And then therefore, after that, I got a feeling it's just going to be a lot of private coaching going on. But that's just my opinion about it. Come May 1st, you don't see that flux, like, because kids still want to train, even if not. Like, even if there's no season, you're going to have cross-country kids. They like, all right, this season's done. I'm thinking about November now.
You know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy, Jeff, that you say that. I thought this season right here was going to be exciting, really explode. A lot of teams going to drop some times. Man. I think this, you know, like on some real, I think this year would have been better than all the last 2 years in relays and jumps. But I think next year is gonna light a fire under these kids' butt. Like,
I hope so.
I think if they continue to train, I don't care what type of fire you have. If you haven't been training, if you're an athlete who trains year round ish, and you take 3-4 months off, you know what I mean? It's a wrap. I don't care. Like elite athletes, even when they're injured, they're still training. You get what I mean? It's a setback. But like you can't just take 3-4 months off of doing nothing. The human body just doesn't work that way.
Right. So let's transition a bit. We obviously there's no state meet or anything like that, but you yourself has been pretty vocal about the state meet. Obviously, you competed in the 80s, coached in the 90s, and up to this point. What are some of the things about the current setup of the state meet that concerns you and you would like to change? And what would you change that stuff to?
man, I like to go back to 2 classes. Because
I'm about single, but I definitely agree with 2.
Go back to 2 classes because, bring East St. Louis out of East St. Louis was 2A, and I don't care how many kids they got into school. I don't care if they lie about their enrollment. Like when I was in high school, I'm just keeping it real. We keeping it real.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, I'm a man, so if I'm stepping on somebody's toe, they got a problem with it, they can come talk to me. But it's real and real. We got a state. It's like basketball, football. You got all these classes, bro. Oh, I was a state champ. What? You was 1A. Now, when I was coming up, you had Class A, Class 2A. So if you want, like our conference, we got 2. It's the West Suburban Civil. When I was in high school, it was a West Suburban Conference. You had 14 teams. My senior year, we beat York. We beat Old Park. We won indoor conference, outdoor conference, and
means more.
Right,
Does
it means more. Yeah. Basketball, they got 1 state. They got 1 championship. Football got 1 championship. Baseball got 1 championship. I wish it could be all 1. But, because look at a couple years ago, you had a kid, you had a kid in 2A or 1A ran faster in a 2 mile of the mile than they did in 3A. And that's crazy.
He's talking about
how often did that happen in this state, though? We don't see that.
Okay, a couple years ago, Pierre, you had the boy in 2A that ran. What's the boy that ran the 100 and 200?
That's Sherman, but he wouldn't have won any of those events in 3As. But he would.
What I'm saying is, if you got a kid running
competitive 1A,
hey Pierre,
I get what you're saying.
He's talking about the kid from Galesburg.
Galesburg.
Oh,
if you got
okay.
But if you got a kid that's running, you got a kid that's running 10.5 and 21s, and he running 2A, and he the state champ. He the state champ in 2A.
Ryan Shields was the best overall 1A kid, better than any mom.
Hey, but guess what, though, Johnny? Guess what? Coaches got the right to petition up. What that's say? Why aren't they petitioning it up? Don't let the state decide. You can decide. Like you mentioned, who'd you mention? I believe you mentioned East St. Louis, for example. They petition up in football every year, 2 classes. So,
well, man, hey, look, Pete. I learned this in my conference. I sat back and I was like, man, why do coaches be so happy to win conference? I got 20 kids. If I just get, it's the crazy part. And coaches in West Suburban, I'm sorry, but I try to mess up scoring, period. I know I can't. If I first got that, I said I can't win it, but I'm gonna take some points away from somebody that thought they was gonna win this and win that. Yeah. I try.
You don't care about maximizing your points.
Hey, Jeff.
No, I'm asking.
I know. I'm finna tell you. 2 years ago, 2018. This is what I did. Outdoor conference. I knew because we always have a problem with prom. So what I did was I took 7 kids, bro, and could have won conference on a sophomore level. The coach from Oak Park Hassel came up to me. He's like, man, Johnny. He said, damn. He said, you almost won conference on a sophomore level. And you didn't have no distance. I got first and second in the 100, first and second in the 200.
Well,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
Say conference is a little different. because if you have dominant athletes, I mean, state was the same. Like when you're in a big conference, they're gonna cancel each other out.
Right.
But yeah.
So, but look at this. Look at this, Jeff. This is my. I sit at the computer. I sit at the computer, and like PS said, I look at every. I can tell you every school, and every school that's got a team. PS was like, Johnny, how you do this? Because I go back and I see what that they're returning. So what I did was I took the whole indoor season so far, and I broke it down. That's how I know about Drew. You know,
So you
I know.
learned how to use the computer last year, and since then, you've been like a
Hey Jeff,
He
you
got
act
the
like
MacBook.
no,
Ooh, what's this?
no, I feel you. Basically,
But
what you're saying is you're studious.
I do my homework.
Your homework. Yeah.
So guys,
Hey, it
look,
took you
Jeff.
30 years, huh, to do your homework.
Hey man, listen. I'm a technician, man. I go out and install. I don't sit at the computer all day. You know, a lot of y'all. Jeff grew up in a computer world. You and Pierre, man, Tony.
Dude,
Not me.
I'm like the bridge in high school. I was the bridge like right before texting. I still remember writing notes in class. So you can't completely put me. I remember writing notes, not things you can do now in text. You wrote handwritten notes. You remember, y'all? I know Tony and Johnny remember that, writing notes in class. Fast.
Of course. I still write notes.
Man, that's a grocery list, dude. Get out of here.
Johnny probably wrote notes all day. He on that.
No, I write all my workouts on paper though.
Right. So you mentioned two class. You mentioned going back to a 2-class system, which I think I would like a 2-class system personally. What else? What else make you lose hair?
Like back in the day, we had like if you ran 100, we ran the prelims, the semis, then finals.
Oh no, no sir, no sir, no sir, no sir.
Hey Pierre,
You out your mind.
Can I tell you this?
Johnny,
if I was in high school,
Johnny, let me cut you off. These coaches would lose their mind if you had to run. Imagine if you had to run 3 rounds of 400.
Okay, but could I say this, Jeff?
No. I said these coaches would lose their mind.
They didn't do that.
They didn't do it with the 400. They did it in the. They did it. I know they did it with the. They did it with the 100,
The short
200, in the hurdles. So let me say this, Jeff. Like with the Olympics got 3 rounds.
It's not the Olympics.
In NCAAs.
And listen to this, Jeff. We was trained. We trained our body. The coaches trained us for that. You didn't go out. You went out you won your heat, came in first or second. You see what I'm saying?
I'm not taking a shot. Some people may think I'm taking a shot. Maybe I am. Who knows? But so
be
you
real.
ran
You
more
can
than,
take a shot or you not.
So you ran more than 200 meters in practice, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just clarifying.
Yeah. You know, okay. I know you're getting at that, man. Listen.
I'm just asking.
Okay, let me say this.
You have to be able to do volume.
I know, but you know, I'm gonna say this.
No. You can keep talking about what you were talking
These
about.
coaches, look, I can't knock nobody out here on how
I'm not. The only thing I knock is you can train the way you want to train, but when you start dismissing and belittling other types of training, that's when I have an issue. Like, if this is what you want to do it. But just coming out saying this is stupid, that's stupid, that doesn't work, when it has worked for fucking 30 years, that's when I have an issue. And the other issue I have is you don't have the results to back up what you're saying. Also, the younger coaches who are too lazy to go do the research themselves and read like peer-reviewed articles and scholar, they just taking it from one source and they believe this is good stuff and it's not. That's where I have the issue with, and I'll leave it at that.
So let me say this to you. If I was running in this era, come on, man. It's like you if the 80s, if the kids in the 80s raced and had all this what they got.
I know, better diet, better lifting, better tracks. It's like, yes.
Hey, Jeff, I'm gonna say this.
I would have broke 9 minutes.
It wouldn't be no.
You would have.
It wouldn't.
I would have broke 9 minutes.
Smarter training now.
You know why I would have broke 9? I would have broke 9 minutes in the 2 mile because one of my best friends I grew up with. We were just talking about this about it last year. He was like, "Damn man, we did some dumb ass training in 1986. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing." And I ran 9:20, doing dumb shit.
Hey, Jeff, it's true because it's like, man, look, the kids in this era, they soft. They soft. It ain't no Kerwin Beatties. It ain't no.
You mean
I mean,
not enough? There are Karen Beatties. There's just not
Johnny,
enough.
I agree with Johnny.
Hold on, Tony. Hold on, let me say this. Let me say this, Pierre. Let me say this.
Yeah.
I went back to 2002 and I went to the state qualifiers, what they ran in 100, 200. I looked all the way back in 2002. 11-2, 11-2, 11-1 in 100. That is slow, bro. I ran and no.
We should have had you and gals on at the same time.
Listen, hey, Tony.
No.
Hey, Tony, real talk, Tony, real talk. I ran 11 flat as a sophomore in high school, looking at one of the kids that went to Proviso East because they told me that he was going to beat me running. I'm talking to him while I'm running. I mean, I don't even see it, man. Like, Marcellus.
So Johnny, while we're on that point, because I'm just going off. So what do you like? Okay, so I'm gonna use a scientific word. So your operational definition, because everybody has a different definition when we speak of sprinters. So if you were not just for your team, like say you're trying to get a kid to college, a scholarship, what's the bare minimum to you they have to be able to run in 100? If they're going to try to be a sprinter or 1-2 kid, like,
well, I want to get him at,
and they want to go to a D1, like say top 20 school.
Shoot, he got to
Just
run.
your opinion. Yeah.
You say what time?
Yeah.
Shoot, he got to run 10.5 or better.
So if they can't run 10.5 or better and they want to be a 1-2 guy, how are you going to train this kid?
Hey, Jeff, if he ain't running, okay, say if he want to go to LSU, he want to go, not
this
LSU.
is the same combo we have with Giles, so.
Okay,
so
no, I'm just saying, so he got to be like 10.6. He get to college. I mean, if he get to college and they work when he run 10.3, he ain't gonna really be 10.3 ain't really helping in college. In this era, 10.3 ain't helping at all. Marcel is what? 10. Marcel is.
He sucked, but he's a sub 10.3 guy easily right now.
Right, but see, Marcel is gonna get faster. He's gonna get fast at Purdue.
The 10.5 guy in D1 is a relay hand. You like that term, P?
At a lower end school.
Yeah, if he go look, hey Tony, I'm talking about he real low end school. He ain't going to A&T might not even.
So what I'm saying is, how would you train a kid then? Would you just like say, hey, I'm gonna try to get everything out of them and make them fast as possible, or will I actually try to do what's best for the kid long term?
I just have to keep it real with him, Jeff, and tell him like, man, the 100. Okay, I had a kid, Herman Rome. He won Illinois Prep top times in the 60. And it was the 55. And I told him, I said, Herman, you not a 100-meter runner. He went 6:30. He went what, Tony? 6:36. He went 6:36 in the 55. And I told him, you not a 100-man. You're not. I mean, you strong, you powerful, but I said you need to go up. You need to You need to go up. You need to go up to the 2, man. I think you can. I think you can.
2-4 guy.
He didn't buy it.
Right. He didn't buy it. And Tony, and I told him, I say, if your block start in 100, in a 200, you got time to recover. If you don't have a good block start, you still can make it up. And 100, the gun go off, you have a bad block start, it's over with.
And the reason why you guys don't know who Herman Rome is because he thought he knew more than Johnny.
And I told Tony, I say, Tony say, Johnny, what you gonna do with him? I say, look, I'm gonna put him in 100. That's what he want to run. I'm gonna put him in 100. And he told me, he said, man, coach, I should have listened. I say, everybody, once a kid get a certain age, they think they know more than a coach. You as a coach, Jeff, if you got Juan or if you got Jalen and Jalen don't run faster than 52 indoor, then
I told Jalen, I already told him that. Said, who knows if he watches this, but I said, bro, I told him that. Said, if you can't run sub 50 by the end of this year, you might need to move up to the 8 on some real stuff.
You come and join me.
yeah.
Full time.
Because he's strong. He's ran like 126 in the
You gotta give me 3 chicken tacos, bro.
Dang, you got delivery coming to your crib?
The DoorDash. Hey Pierre,
Can I get that
Pierre.
3 chicken tacos?
Hey, for those who don't know, Pierre, you should get credit for this. Pierre's the king of DoorDash and Uber Eats.
That's not me. That's Johnny talking. I'm not ordering food.
No,
what are y'all talking about?
No, this man, plenty of times I've been talking with P. He orders DoorDash, dude. That's the thing to do now because you can't go into no restaurant.
That's why I get all the discount codes.
Johnny, going back to something you said earlier. I know we just talking. Ain't no clear what you're. But
yes, it is. You spraying the boy.
I do think there are the athletes today are. I don't think it's their fault that they're softer. I think that culture has the pacification of just U.S. in general. Like you can't say this, you can't say that. For example, like I have a football mentality when I coach girls, and I think that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Like it's fine. So, for example, it's like I didn't see differences between girls and boys. I talk to them the same for the most part.
But Jeff, you can't though.
Who says who?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. A girl.
No. Just says who? Just answer my question. Says who?
Just society. Because you know what?
But
what their parents say.
But a 15-year-old guy that's playing football can be talked to like crazy, but I can't even say a couple of like not I'm not trying to tear anyone down. That's never been my style of coaching. My style of coaching is light a fire under your ass. And there are different ways to do it. That's all. That's what I'm getting at. But with that said, going back to what I was initially saying, like I think also we have softer athletes because we have a lot of coaches pushing the soft. Like they don't call out the athletes. They treat them too nice. Not too much, I don't want to say like that, but man, a coach is not your friend. Just because I'm friendly doesn't make me your friend. My job is to educate you in the sport, to train you, to get you to the next level. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? If we become friends afterwards, that's a plus. But my job is just like a teacher. Job is to like give you the information, facilitate, and do for same thing with a coach. Like it's exactly that. Like you can say, "Oh, the kid doesn't want to learn." Well, as a teacher, it's your job to make them learn.
But can I say? Okay, can I say this, Jeff? Let me say this. Just P.S. Jeff, P.S. said this. Coming from Proviso East, Proviso West, you at Lane Tech, it's hard, man. You can't holler at, okay, I'm gonna say this. You can't even really holler at boys because it's some boys take it the wrong way.
It's called bullying now.
Right. So they, and then girls, how do how was your transition, Jeff? Do you think you coaching the girls the same as you coach boys now? That's what you're saying?
I actually, and Tony will tell you this, I actually think I'm easier on the boys than I was on the girls.
Watch the workout Wednesday we posted the other day, Jeff. The girls, I talked to the girls while Jeff went away to coach the other group, and they said, "Yeah," said so. He goes, "Well, we're used to him. He's talked to us like this all the time."
But see, Jeff, you think okay, let me say this, Jeff.
He wasn't cussing at him or nothing.
No. I just know how.
But here's the thing. Most people don't see that. All they see is when I'm saying stuff at a meet or here and there. They don't see the hundreds of like one-on-one conversations that I have with the athlete, the rapport that I built with the athlete. Same thing with Tony. They might see him upset, but they didn't see him have, over the last 2 weeks, 15 conversations with this same athlete about this strategy or technique. You know what I mean?
Right. So look at this. Like I'm dealing with kids that's in special ed classes or behavioral problems. And Tony, Tony, I call Tony like, man, John, you gotta put your foot down. And I'm like,
I'm his counselor.
I'm like, man, he say, Johnny, you got to do it, bro. You got to be hard on these kids. And I'm like, Tony, these ain't the same kids at Lane Tech. These kids, I didn't, man, we could be on here 2 more hours about the kids I done had at the Visor West.
Hold up, Johnny.
But hey, we do have to wrap up soon because we've been
Look at this, Jeff. How old are you, Jeff?
You old, man. I see.
No. You see,
mine is nappy.
Okay, let me say this, Jeff. Look at this, Jeff. I didn't have no gray hairs when I was at Proviso East. None. Now I know I got a little older, but I got
East for 9 years.
I ain't had no gray hair neither. None. Me and Tony
had
had
no gray hair before I started coaching at Lane Tech girls. Guess what? Year 1, I saw my first gray.
Man, hey Jeff, it went like wildfire. I went over to Proviso West. And Tony, for real, you can step in, Tony, and be a witness. Like,
hey man, it happens to Johnny. I used to throw trash cans at practice. I remember one time I got mad at I picked up a trash can and threw it against the stadium wall.
Was that against Vic?
That was before his group.
No, I think we were doing a workout on the grass. I came through in time. Vic came through late.
Right.
I said, you motherfuckers, get out of here. Go the fuck home. Practice is over.
Hey Tony, you didn't say that one time in your coaching career?
No, that's exactly what I said.
That's the only time I haven't seen him throw a garbage can.
Hey Tony, I didn't say that about
not at the kid, but just like
no. I ain't, if I hit him, I'll probably be in jail.
Hey Tony, the last 5-6 years, I said that about 10 times.
All right. But I do, and I see Pierre's face, so I think we do definitely need to wrap it up. So, all right, Pierre, you take over.
Oh, no. I was having fun watching Jeff talk training 16 times.
We can shoot the stuff after this, whoever wants to stay on.
Oh, we good. I'm curious if you can go back to 1985, 1988, whatever, in the time machine. What's a couple things you'll tell your boys, Proviso West Panthers in '88, that hey man,
don't eat
guess
them
what these
pancakes.
boys are doing in 2020?
Oh,
Oh no,
You're gonna be the same like 2 years. Don't eat them pancakes.
Hey.
What would you bring from 2020 back to 1988?
For one, uniforms. We had the Dennis Rodman shorts back then.
Everybody did.
Hey Tony, you remember that? We didn't have no speed suits. We didn't have some of the shoes. I bring back. I try to bring back more knowledge and like the track surfaces I would have been brought that back. You know, that's the first thing I would try to bring back is the track surfaces like Proviso West indoor track. You know, I ran on tar, you know, and it was like running on concrete, really. You know, it wasn't soft, you know. A lot of kids back in the days had shin splints. We failed at Proviso West. And like in high school, I ran on cinders. So, you know, to see an outdoor track at Proviso West, yeah, I'd bring that back.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. I thought you was gonna say you was gonna bring Lane Tech back so they can beat you again. No, I'm kidding. Let's do some.
I knew. Hey, put it like this, Pierre. I knew in my era, I knew Lane Tech. They've been back in the '80s, but man, if you won East St. Louis, if you won East St. Louis, if you won Mendel, Evanston, man, I really didn't know who you were. You know what I'm saying?
No, East St. was that team.
It was East St. Louis. It was East St. Louis Lincoln, East St. Louis Senior. You know, they had two schools. One of the coldest. Jeff, one of the coldest 800-meter runners. What's his name? Tony Cecil Shy.
Cecil Shy, yep.
Man, hey, that boy was
4x4, yep.
Hey, Jeff, he ran the 400 and he ran the 4x8. Yeah. A bad man. He was a bad man.
His sister was pretty good too, yep.
Yeah.
Come on. So we talking Proviso West, you call it the Madison Square Garden or the Mecca. Obviously, a bunch of new arenas has popped up over the last few years. Which one of those things you think can challenge Proviso West?
Which one can challenge us?
Yeah.
None.
We got some heat coming, bank tracks on the way. More facilities are popping up now versus the previous.
I'm gonna tell you though, the best track out there is just a mission to get to. Where is it at? Where's the Geneva track at?
That's outside of Cleveland.
We talking Illinois, Jeff, but that's a good facility though. 300.
What tracks in Illinois? We got one that ain't built yet. That's it.
Everybody's built a new track. More tracks built this year than the previous 10 years.
Hey, Jeff,
they popping up.
Yeah, you get that scoreboard, man.
Hey, Pierre, I'm gonna tell you this, Pierre. Proviso West is the best high school. I mean, track in probably the Midwest. In the United States, I mean, who else got it?
I've been to New Balance Nationals indoors. So I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
That's at Madison. I mean, that's not at a high school.
Just
it's high school teams.
I'm talking about no, Jeff. I'm saying high schools. It's no schools got 9 lanes in the middle, 9 lanes on the outside, 200 meter.
That's true.
2 long jump pits, pole vault pit.
That's true.
So with that being said, how do y'all have this world-class facility, but y'all got them bogus bathrooms outside the door where you push it and the water go off every 2 seconds?
Okay,
that wasn't part of the deal. Give me a break.
Let me say this to the mile split fans and
it's not a mile split affair.
Let me just say this.
It's not a mile split thing, brother.
The school got a $80 million plan, but they finna start. They finna move the parking lots. Proviso East is finna get I don't know why they ain't gonna get a 200 meter indoor. They're gonna get a 160, and they getting an outdoor Mondo track.
Right.
They supposed to be working on that. It's supposed to have been breaking ground right after school is over. So they finna change the bathrooms, man. They got to put them in modern technology, you know.
Man, it's bad. It's bad. But the food is good though. We have these hospitality rooms. That makes up for the poor choice of bathroom options we have.
But you know, we got 100 bathrooms around that athletic facility, upstairs, downstairs. So it's not a problem if everybody stop going to.
But if it's we can't go there. What are you talking about? We can't go there. We only can go to 2 of them. Come on.
Man, hey, P, I have more than one. I have a lot of washrooms open for my invites.
Oh, well, that's news to me. Maybe in February we'll check it out. So let me ask you this before we wrap this thing up. Like I said, you've been competing in the 80s up to this point. It's a span of 30 years. Who are the best track and field athletes? Who are the top 2 of all time, in your opinion?
Boy or girl?
Regardless of era, whether it's in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever. Who the top
gender?
2? Well, no, we'll stick with the boys right now. Then we'll go to the girls.
Okay, boys.
Give me your top 2 or 3 right now.
What are we talking about?
See, okay, hold on. Okay, see, APL, that's tough because
Let's just go with Olympians, man.
no. It's tough because you got people that
Answer the question.
I know burnt steak is tough, dude. This ain't. Come on.
if I can go back until
We're talking Illinois.
I know, but see, Pierre, see, let me say this.
Stop trying to hurt feelings and answer the question.
No, you were 2000. You came out in 2000.
I'm asking you, though. I'm asking you.
Because
who are your top 3 of all time?
No, it's a good question, Johnny. Answer it, man.
The top 3,
know, man.
The top 3?
Yeah. For you, who's the top 3 track and field athletes of all time?
By the way, Johnny, this goes on audio, so we can't. People who are driving can't see you. So.
Okay. On the men's side, in the 80s, I got to go with
You taking too long.
Not
man.
Regardless of generation.
Regardless of era. This is only on.
Okay, I say this. Okay, I got to put this young man. I give him his props, give him his due. I got to give
a non-proviso kid that you coach. You haven't coached.
No. I got to put Jamari Ward.
Okay.
I got to put Jamari Ward up there. In the new era. Huh?
Ain't no new era, regardless of era, dude. Give me 2 more.
Era. Come on, stop it.
Hey, you could put, and y'all might. I want Jeff to stop eating. I don't want him to choke. You could put Alan Turner. You could put Alan Turner.
Who you putting on your list, man? Who's on your list?
This is your list. Like,
stop trying to get jumped. You don't want to get a phone call from Kerwin Beatty, Alan Turner, and Ray Buchanan. We know what it is, dude.
Man, both of them was state champs, bro. You got a lot of.
It don't matter. Give your opinion, brother.
Shoot.
Man, this man's scared. I knew we'd strike him out. He's scared.
Give me 2 more.
Hey, Tony, I ain't trying to be funny, y'all. Y'all got me. We can come back. We can go on the girls' side because.
Fine, go to the girls. Give me 3.
I'll give you.
Go ahead and say Jasmine Jackson.
I'll give you the greatest girl I've ever seen.
Cool.
We don't care about you, Jeff. It's about Johnny right now.
What?
But you can give it afterwards, unless you get scared and freeze up again.
Jackie Joyner Kersey.
You saw her compete in high school?
Oh, you say I saw compete?
He didn't have to.
Okay, Tony. We gonna go
do that. We ain't say that.
No, Tony. We gonna go to the girl side, and she was a full-time state champ in 1980. What year did she graduate?
Dude, just say the name, brother.
Just give us the name, homie.
She went to East St. Louis.
We're talking about the 400 record before. What's her name, bro?
I know what you're talking about.
Carmelita.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Carmelita Williams. Mm-hmm. Then you got
that's a good one, by the way.
Carmelita, yes. Then you got my other girl. Oh my God, she went to college. She went professional.
That's a lot.
No, she won four state championships.
From where?
No, I said a lot went professionally. Like she went to college, she went professional.
What high school, Johnny?
I'm trying to remember. I think she went to.
It took us over an hour to get this dude to sweat. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you got me sweating. She didn't go to Morgan Park. She went to. She was just on. Oh man.
He's talking about from East St. Louis. No.
No, she's from Chicago, South Side.
It's Alex Anderson, man.
Alex.
Yeah, go to Morgan Park.
Oh, Alexandria. That's number 2. And then I say, I got to go with this young phenom at Glenbard West.
That was gonna be my number one.
Hard.
Huh?
You out your mind, Jeff, but that's just not your show.
If
It's
she
okay.
ran this
It's okay.
year, which
It's okay.
Caitlin Hart,
has
yeah,
been
KK Hart.
denied to her.
It's okay.
Bro, she ran 16:09.
It's okay, Jeff. Jeff, it's okay. We asked
all
Johnny. It's
time.
okay.
Jeff, hey,
Go
Jeff,
ahead,
can I
John.
say this? Jeff, can I say this?
I know you non-distance guys don't realize how fast that is.
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny, because Jeff
At
can go
early
rogue
in the
again.
season. That's all.
Hey, Jeff,
Go
Jeff, can I
ahead.
say this? Let me say this, Jeff.
Bro, that's
Caitlin
like
Hart-
5-10 mile pace.
Hey, Jeff, Kayla Hart came in high school as a freshman, and this young lady been dominating the state as a freshman. I got to put her in my top. I mean, she got to be in my top. But you talking about Alexander Anderson, you talking about the girl at East St. Louis. I'm talking about, bro, they got so many state medals, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
I'm gonna say this.
Well, Anderson's number one. They should have an award. And shame on let me say this real quick. I'm sorry for going rogue. Shame on the IHSA. They should have an award named after Alexandria Anderson. Because why? Because she's the most dominant fucking athlete, at least on the track side. In the history of the IHSA track and field. She's the most dominant fucking athlete in the history of the sport. Never lost. And she was a national champion, by the way. A junior national champion her senior year. Number one in the country. Shame on the IHSA. They need to name an award after her.
I agree with you, Tony, but Hart's never lost in the state meet either.
Yeah,
Who's
but
that?
Alexandria
I went out.
Anderson, Jeff, her senior year, she was the number one track.
Oh no, I
country.
saw the races her senior year.
So
Best
there's a
performance
difference-
state I've ever seen.
There's a difference between being the best in your state and being the best in the country. There was no other athlete better than her in the country her senior year. She was number one in the United States. They should have an award named after her.
Can't argue with that.
Hey, Jeff, when Alexandra, when you saw her, you heard about her, this girl came and performed.
I saw her races.
And that's like Kayla Hart. When you see this young lady, like I told her mom, I met her mom this year, and I told her mom, I said it was just wonderful meeting your daughter. She, she got. I wished her great success in college. She just, I mean, like, there's certain people could have ran in my era. She was one of them. Like, if she was back in my era, you know what I'm saying? Alexandria is back in my era. It's like, I believe they could have handled that, what we did. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Alexandria,
KK's
Alexandria's, I mean, come on, man. Illinois done had some great athletes, but them three ladies right there, you got to bow down to them.
All right. So we want to wrap it up, fellas.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny's a great one, bro. Let me see if I can end this here.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, peeps. Just stop the recording.